Welcome to the Haunting Stories list. In Story of Thailand. Child Ghost. Respected listener. The next story of the villagers is the story of Mr. Nuchjaree, who told me that he was sad that the flood of Thai brothers and sisters together caused trouble to all corners, but there were still people who took advantage of the misery of their fellow human beings together as a way to make a living of shameful examples. When the flood is very damaged, whether the belongings of the boat, raft, hired boat, there are other vegetables, grass, drinking water shattered all over the place. Kun Nuchjaree recalled a girl who was a victim of the flood when she was a girl. Everybody could swim back then. If you live in the countryside and the flood reaches, or if there are rivers, canals, swamps near the house, you must be familiar with the water. It's not because she was born unhealthy. His parents and grandparents love him very much, refusing to let him learn to swim, and he is the only child in this house. It is strange that rich people often lack children, as if the child does not want to be born in the womb of a wealthy person. In this house, he has money for others to borrow to eat flowers, called richer than others, and who does not allow his children to learn to swim because he is afraid that the child will be sick with love. The girl just sat there looking at her friend with dangling eyes, wanting to swim with him. I asked my parents not to ask my grandparents, so I sneaked down when the adults accidentally saw how it happened, but I found out that the girl disappeared almost in the evening. The whole house and the neighborhood were yelling and shouting for girls. There is no body of her to be seen. What can I do on the house? I can't find it next door. I must think that I fell into the water. When the body was found not far from the front step, it shows that the child went to play in the water nearby. The water is not very deep, it is not likely to die, so it is not necessary to tell how much the parents and grandparents will be upset. For parents, it is almost heartbreaking. When the body was praying at the temple, a neighbor saw a girl sitting in front of the house rubbing her eyes again, oh no, then disappeared. One of them rode through the front of the house, had to suddenly say that the girl was swimming brightly near the boat. At first I thought it was someone else, but when I saw that it was that child, I ran away from the boat and almost fell over. The kid cried out for me, help me, escape me, why didn't you help me first? That didn't say anything, she only grabbed me. I knew that she wasn't a living child, she must be a ghost. 2 scams in one night counts as. The boy's grandfather lives nearby. My grandson died sick, but he was determined to go to the temple and then went to the temple and could not let him paddle to send him to sleep at home. You're sleeping alone. While everyone else was still at the temple. When I was sleeping, I saw you walking from the front of the stairs stiff. You said you didn't wake up alive. Grandpa, I'm not afraid of you, I love you very much. I asked you how you came. How are you doing? How are you coming to see Grandpa? The child approached and stopped staring at Grandpa, silent and didn't say anything. Grandpa asked again if you came to visit Grandpa. I love you no matter how much I love you, but when you say that and you know what your niece means, it gives you goosebumps when you think of death. I'm not going with you yet. Don't you love me? I love you, but I can't go. There's still work to be done. You don't have to do anything else. You're old. I've done so much, so go live with me. I'm lonely, and I feel sorry for you, tears in your eyes, telling you to give me a little more time and I'll be there. You can wait for me, too. And then the baby's body disappeared. I flinched like I had just woken up from sleep, but I wasn't really asleep. The strange thing happened about 3 months after the cremation of this child. My grandfather is sick. I haven't recovered, I'm getting worse at night, I'm a creepy man. Grandpa cried out that his niece was here. You asked me to pick you up? I saw you coming. I came to see you. Come closer to me. The guards are looking at each other. Come beckon, come to me, son. The dogs howled. The guards got goosebumps, too. The girl's father hurriedly told me to bring incense sticks and tell him not to bother my grandfather. The mother of the little girl cried and went to pick up incense sticks to light her daughter's soul. May you rest in peace and don't take Grandpa. Without a word, my grandfather stood up. The litter was in my throat. Grandpa's gone. Strangely, there's people in the basement. 2 to 3 people saw that grandpa and grandson walked hand in hand and passed under the sapodilla tree and then went out to the front of the house and then walked away, stunned and speechless, wanted to point out to his friends, was confused, helpless. 2 The bodies of my grandfather and grandson disappeared into the darkness outside the house and regained consciousness. Yes, this happened in Lop Berai. Can follow to listen to the next story. Thank you. Goodbye today.